welcome to Ava's Weekly Recap, where I, Ava, talk about me trying to get a flip at the age of 17 with the help of the Milwaukee REIA Mentoring Program. With these videos, we'll usually do a weekly overview and then talk about the lessons I learned. These past 2 weeks, I took a break from filming the weekly updates and then filmed other individuals at their flips, like interviewing them. But things are changing, so I wanted to do a weekly update. Week 11, let's get into it. First, we usually start with a week overview, but I kind of want to start with something a little different. How I got into real estate. When I was 15 and in history class, we learned about a man named Andrew Carnegie. After learning about this guy, I knew I wanted to be great, specifically in the wealth category. So I researched the best books on finances and found a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. After school that day, I forced my sister to drive me to Target and I picked up the book. The next day, we all found out that my entire family had COVID, besides me. So they had to quarantine, and I had to quarantine as well because I was close contact. It ended up being really dumb. I was like quarantining in a house full of people with COVID, and I never actually got it, so that's great. But the concept, if you think about it, kind of stupid. But let's not get caught up in the details. So since I was being forced to stay at home all that time, I ended up just having a ton of time to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But through this book, I became obsessed with real estate. That book turned into a bunch of other books. And originally I was gonna wait until I was 18 to buy my first investment property, but time went by and I was like, why am I waiting? Let's just start now. So that led me and Ben to cold calling for months until we actually secured our first off-market long-term buy and hold rental deal. So we got some long-term units that way in our local area. And then junior year, winter break, I started reading a book called Long-Term Rental, Short-Term Wealth, and decided I wanted to start getting into the Airbnb space a little bit. I did that, and 2 months later, I had my first Airbnb under contract, located in the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been so happy in my entire life. So that's currently kind of where my portfolio sits, which leads to flipping. Originally, I wanted to start flipping properties because I wanted more cash to buy more long-term rentals, which is still the plan. I want cash to buy long-term rentals. So I read this book by Jay Scott and this book by Jay Scott, and while it was great information, I still knew I needed help from experienced people, and that's what led me to join the Milwaukee REIA Mentoring Program for flipping. And gosh, it is so nice to feel like all the people you have around you for support, to be able to go to people, ask questions, and get solid answers from people who flipped hundreds of homes before. I've been posting weekly updates ever since I've joined, and now we're 11 weeks into the program. As you guys know, I've been marketing like a madwoman, still looking for my first flip. And that's pretty much my real estate story up until now. Real estate has always been my life and will always be. I know a lot of people can't relate to the age part of the story, but I know you guys can relate to something I want to talk about today in this video. For the weekly updates, I usually start with the numbers, and it's coming a little bit later in the video, but here are this week's numbers. Let's try again. Here are this week's numbers. This has never happened before. I almost always hit my numbers, so you're probably asking yourself, Ava, what the heck happened? Let me tell you. About 3 weeks ago, I saw a huge opportunity, something that was demanded in the market for a particular service that I am extraordinarily good at because I've been doing it for so long. So I went after it, I got an LLC and drafted up a contract with my favorite attorneys, Maggie and Taylor. Within 2 weeks of having this business, I already scaled it to 6 figures. And since that happened so fast, a lot of work piled up that I had to do. So that's why my weekly numbers are kind of non-existent this week. But I wanted to mention this because I feel like a lot of people getting into flipping can relate to this because they usually have a job or a business that requires their attention. So it's super hard to get in time for real estate. You are not alone. I felt this more than ever this week. And I wanted to be honest with you guys on how it affected my marketing. And that is my weekly overview for this week. Now let's talk about a quick few lessons I learned. Number 1, managing a full-time job/business combined with real estate is so difficult. Number 2, no matter how much you think you have planned your life out, opportunities will arise, circumstances will change. The plan can and will always be different than what you expected. Number 3, when certain opportunities present themselves, sometimes you have to take them. I love real estate, but I saw an opportunity of a lifetime. And I would be kicking myself until I'm dead in my grave if I didn't take it. I'm hoping I do not let down too many people in the process. To wrap it up, I'm going to be trying to get my marketing up this week while managing this beast of a business, and I'll let you know how it goes next week. Until then, thanks for watching the video, guys. Please subscribe to the Milwaukee REIA YouTube channel, give it a like, and comment down below if this is something you can relate to. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.